Class, we're going to talk to you a little bit about altitude and azimuth and right ascension and declination with this video. So I've got this web program called Stellarium. It's right up here. You can download it. It is a free download. I can't do that right now because my tech guy needs to do it. So I'm using the web-based one, which will work. You can see down here there's this option for full screen. I am going to use that, but I'm going to show you these other options first. There's a night mode, so if I click on night mode, it kind of goes red, which is easier on your eyes. So if you're actually outside looking at this, it's easier to go between red and the night sky than it is between white and the night sky. So that's why night mode is there. There's deep sky objects. When you turn those on, there's a few things that get circled. Those are just things that you can look at. There is an equatorial grid and an azimuth grid. I actually have the azimuth grid on right now. I'll turn that off. Equatorial grid is slightly different. We're going to talk about both of those. There's the landscape. So you can see there's trees right down there. If I turn the landscape off, you see the full sky. I'm going to keep the landscape on because it kind of gives me a bearing of where I am. There is the atmosphere. Now I turn the atmosphere on. You can see it sort of goes to more of a blue, a little hazy, so I turn that off. And then the last two are the constellations. So you've got constellations, and then you have the constellation art, which you can throw in there, which someone thought these things look the way they do. So there you have it. I'm going to keep those off for now. So the other thing I want to kind of show you, I'll go into full screen now, is as you zoom in, we'll go over here. So here's the constellation Orion right there. And as you zoom in, you can keep going in and in and in, and stars just kind of start to appear. And eventually, the stars start moving because you're so far away from Earth. That image is so far away from Earth. And because Earth is actually spinning, those stars are actually moving. And so when we're way far away, like right here, we're on Earth, it doesn't appear that these stars are moving, but they actually are. And so just kind of a cool little interesting thing to look at. So first one that I'm going to do is I'm going to put up the azimuth grid. And that's this right here. So with the azimuth, this is basically like your height, all right? And so you can see there's this line right here, all right? So that line corresponds with the horizon, and if we go right over here, it says positive 0 degrees, all right? And then as you go up into the sky, now we're at 20, and if we keep going up, now this one is at 40, and as you keep going, eventually you get directly above you, which is 90 degrees. So as I zoom in, you're going to have, there's your 90, and this line is 80, and 70, and 60, and 50, 40, 30, all the way down to the horizon again, which is 0. So it's just a way of looking at how high in the sky you're talking about. All right, so this star Procyon right there, its altitude would be 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, and you can zoom in and you can see it's not exactly at 40, but for our purposes it's going to be at 40. So that's altitude. Azimuth is slightly different. I'm going to spin around so I'm facing north. So here is north, and what you can see is as you go up, right there is 0 degrees, and as you turn towards the east, these lines, so there's 15 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees. So 45 degrees is we're looking directly northeast, because north is 0 and east, due east, is 90 degrees. So 45 would be just northeast. All right, if I go completely turned around, now I'm looking due south, I'm at 180 degrees. As I go due west, 270 degrees. And as I come back to north, I'm to 360 degrees or back to zero. So if you think of the sky as a big circle, because you can turn around in a circle and see all parts of the sky, the circle has 360 degrees and it's got a full circle. And so that's why we divide it up. So we'll go back to Procyon here. Can't find it. We'll go to Arcturus. So here's the star Arcturus right here. Since this is east, you can see there is 90 degrees right there. And this would be 105. So I'm just going to sort of guesstimate that this is about 95 degrees azimuth. All right. So altitude and azimuth, or AltAz, if you blend them together, the star Arcturus has AltAz coordinates of approximately 95 degrees azimuth and approximately 34 degrees altitude. So that's altitude and azimuth.